But I think my Democratic friends are going to shut down government right before the midterms. I hope so. But anyway, it'll stop whatever knobhead wants to shut down government before the elections. This would stop them. And that's one of the things that stopped me. But I can stop us from voting tonight. But I'm telling you, whoever loses in the next round of elections, if we go back to an election month, that only happens in a country whose Powerball jackpot is 287 chickens and a goat. That's not America, and we can stop it with this act. I think my Democratic friends, God, I hope I'm wrong, but I think my Democratic friends are going to shut down government right before the midterms. I hope I'm wrong. And if I am, please make me wrong. I will come to this floor and apologize to every one of them by name if I need to. But I'm scared they're going to shut down government and create chaos. And so my other amendment would be to instruct the Senate Committee on Homeland Security, which already has been instructed, it's germane, to take Senator Langford's Prevent Government Shutdowns Act, which is S-2721, and Senator Ron Johnson's Shutdown Fairness Act, which is Senate 3012. You won't find two smarter people in the Congress than James Langford and Ron Johnson. To marry those bills. So we'll be ready in case anybody tries to do a shutdown on us. And I'm sorry to just pick on my Democratic friends. Hell, we got some Republicans that could try to shut it down too. That's been known to happen. So, but anyway, it'll stop whatever knobhead wants to shut down government before the elections. This would stop them. And that's one of the things I wanted to do in my amendments. And finally, I have an amendment to implement my version of the SAVE Act. You got to prove you're an American citizen. This would instruct the Rules Committee. Prove you're an American citizen. Prove you are who you say you are to vote. And let's go back to having an election day and not an election month. I got a lot of confidence in the Rules Committee. They're really smart Republicans, really smart Democrats.
Right here is where the argument shifts from prediction to prescription, and it's revealing. The speaker starts with a warning about a potential government shutdown, but now pivots into election integrity and procedural control. That's a big jump. Notice what's happening. A looming political threat is being used to justify structural changes to how elections are run. At the same time, there's a careful balancing act, criticizing Democrats while briefly acknowledging Republicans could do the same. That softens the edge, but doesn't change the core message. The real question for viewers is this. Is this about preventing chaos or reshaping the rules in anticipation of it? That tension is doing a lot of work here.
They can do it. And I want to instruct them to do it. Now, they can stop me. But I can stop us from voting tonight. But I don't want to do that. It's going to hurt some of my colleagues. And I was going to stop us from voting tonight to try to prove my point. Because what you allow is what will continue around here. It is. I'm pulling my objection, except for my right to offer the SAVE Act. And if you don't want my version of the Save America Act, and if you don't want to vote for it, don't. All I ask of you is to think about it, to trust our Rules Committee, to follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Because the American people, both Democrats and Republicans and independents, are questioning our elections. This isn't about any one person. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But But I'm telling you, whoever loses in the next round of elections, if we go back to an election month, they're going to go, we got stolen. It's got to stop. That's only happens in a country whose Powerball jackpot is 287 chickens and a goat. That's not America, and we can stop it with this act. But anyway, that's where I am, so I appreciate your patience, Mr. President. I'm going to release my hold. I've been told I'll be able to offer the SAVE Act. Do whatever the hell you want on it. Vote for it, vote against it. Just follow your heart, take your brain with you. Give the Rules Committee a chance. And that's where I am. My work here is done. I suggest the absence of a quorum.
Clerk.
What makes this moment stand out isn't just what was said. It's how the argument was constructed, piece by piece, and where it ultimately lands. It begins with a warning, a potential government shutdown, framed not as a policy disagreement, but as a deliberate political move tied to election timing. That's a serious claim. But almost immediately, there's a strategic shift. The focus moves from preventing a shutdown to reshaping election procedures, specifically tightening voter verification and compressing the voting timeline back toward a single day. That transition matters, because now the argument isn't just about avoiding chaos in government spending. It's about preventing chaos in election legitimacy. And the Speaker connects those two ideas through a broader concern: trust. Not just partisan trust, but public trust across Democrats, Republicans, and independents. But here's where it gets more interesting. The Speaker acknowledges something critical. Whoever loses future elections may claim the system was unfair, especially if voting stretches over longer periods. That's not framed as a hypothetical fringe concern. It's presented as almost inevitable. And that framing does two things at once. It justifies the proposed changes, and it preemptively sets expectations about future political reactions. So the underlying message becomes clear. If the rules don't change, the legitimacy of outcomes will continue to be questioned. At the same time, there's a notable rhetorical strategy throughout. The Speaker criticizes Democratic friends, but repeatedly softens it by admitting Republicans could do the same. That creates an appearance of balance, of fairness, even while advancing a very specific policy direction. It's a way of broadening the appeal without diluting the core argument. And then there's the procedural tension. We hear a moment where the Speaker admits they could block the vote entirely to make a point, but chooses not to. That's not just a passing comment. It's a signal of leverage. It tells the audience and colleagues that disruption is possible, even if it's being withheld. That alone adds pressure to the situation without actually triggering it. By the end, the tone shifts again from urgency to invitation. Vote for it. Vote against it. That sounds open, almost deferential, but it's paired with a strong appeal to logic and responsibility. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you. That line is doing a lot of work. It suggests that the rational choice aligns with the Speaker's position, while still allowing space for disagreement. So what's the takeaway here? This isn't just a speech about policy. It's about control over narrative. Control over how future elections are perceived, how outcomes are interpreted, and how much doubt is allowed to exist in the system. The argument is built on a prediction of distrust, and then offers structural change as the solution to that predicted distrust. But that raises a bigger question for viewers. Does changing the rules reduce skepticism? Or does it shift the battleground where that skepticism plays out? Because in politics, perception is often as powerful as reality. And moments like this aren't just about legislation. They're about shaping what people believe is fair, legitimate, and trustworthy moving forward. If you found this breakdown helpful, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think these concerns are justified or overblown? And if you want more sharp, clear political analysis like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.